I'm here with my grandpa Lester Trubey, who's about 100 years old, and I'm going to interview him on behalf of the family and students and many different people who can hear some words of wisdom from him. And so how are you today, Grandpa?
I feel pretty good. I think I'll be able to last another day.
Oh, that's good. So your birthday comes up on January 18?
18.
Yeah, and you'll be...
We had a party the other day, the 30th of December, because some of the folks couldn't get here on my birthday.
That's correct. Yeah, but a lot of people were there, so it was quite a fun and interesting event to come to. The first question that I'll ask you here is, what helped you to live so long?
A lot of people come and ask me that same question. And I tell them the Lord has been very good to me. I've been a vegetarian most of my life, and there are a lot of fine women in the world, but I had the finest, the very finest in the world for a wife for 72 years. She always thought that something that didn't work out today, all right, will work out another. And for 72 years being with that, you can't help but some of it rub off on you.
Yep. So you were much blessed by your wife, Naomi. And you said to me one point in time that she did about $10,000 worth of upholstery work every year or so. Is that right?
She did that while she was teaching full-time and also keeping a house full-time. And I haven't found anybody that can start to do that.
Yep. That's amazing.
It was for the church.
Okay. My mom just added in that was for the church. She was helping out and contributed.
I didn't hear you.
My mom mentioned that some of the money that she made from that went to help the church and do different things there.
Yeah. She did it to help build a church.
I see. It says, what do you think about the length of life versus the quality of life?
Somebody came to me the other day and said that their grandmother lived to be 110. I told them that I wasn't interested in the length of time I lived, but I was very much interested in the quality of the time I lived. And I feel that way very definitely. But the Lord has His will in my life.
Do you have any kind of a guess about how long you think you could live to, or? I
am ready to go tomorrow if He calls.
I see.
I'm not looking forward to the future. I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward to having a quality of life while I live. When He calls, I'm ready to answer.
I see. Okay. What helped you to have a strong marriage for 50 years? Shall I repeat that question?
Well, I wrote down here. I don't know how to give and take, and I think instead of 50 years, as the question says, it has been 72 years. And I think our connection, I was trying to read my word there, but communication between us has helped a lot in the marriage. Whenever you have that communication, you know what each other likes. And also, you have to have a give and take in your relationship. You have to be able to give, and you have to be able to take what the other one has to give for you. And I think another thing is that you have to probably give more than you take in order to be a 50%. I mean, in order to be a good marriage.
I see. Thank you. And let's see. Did you have any problems in your marriage? And,
yes.
Oh.
They were not severe problems. I think everyone has some problems because you never know exactly what the other person is like until you live with them.
Right.
And so there are some problems. I think we get over them by being considerate of the other person. We have to, even with my grandchildren, even some of them haven't done what I would like to have them do, but I'm considerate of their personality. And so within our marriage, we have to be very considerate of each other. Because we grow up to be different sometimes.
So what, can you name any kind of a problem that you had at any point in time?
Well, I think that one of the problems that we had was that this wasn't a problem, that my wife was one who could get along when we had hardly nothing. But then when we did have more, she wanted to help people else do all the helping, not let anybody else help. And that was a problem of mine. So we finally decided to put our financial accounts in different banks. Separate our, and that didn't bother me so much when she helped somebody
I see.
Continually. So that's actually one of the big problems. Another one was she wanted to keep people in the home, and I dragged my feet on that. But we finally had at least 7 people in our home besides our own family. So she went out, I guess.
Well, it sounds like you came up with some solutions there.
Yeah. At least we settled it anyway.
Yes. It says, what mistakes and successes did you make in parenting? And what would you advise parents these days to do?
Well, to answer the first question, I would try to get parents to come to the conclusion that they needed to have teach their children to be obedient. I think we lack a lot of that in our world today. Children go their own way, do their own thing. And they need to, the commandment in the Word of God is, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is the thing to do. And so we need more of that today, more parental guidance. Both work today, and the children are left on the streets to do as they please, and sometimes they get into very bad habits of taking drugs and drinking alcohol and smoking and things like that. It's not good for the personality or the body.
Or society either.
Yeah, or for society.
That's true.
Not good for those things. Oh, what mistakes and successes you make in parenting? I think that we did a pretty good job. I will leave most of it up to my wife, though, because she was with them more than I was. And I think she really did a good job. She was in fact, she was so good that one of the first one that was born thought she was kind of held under the held too closely. Couldn't do some of the things that she would like to do. I think she's kind of got over that. The last card I got, she praised my parenthood.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, yeah. The other 3 have never been that way. They think they had the finest mother in the world.
Yeah. Well, I think you did a great job. My mom's a wonderful woman. So And let's see, what makes your life meaningful? What experiences brought you the most joy and happiness? Probably the first one first. What makes your life most meaningful?
I think that probably is one of the finest things. I know before I was married, I saw how children disobeyed their parents and disrespected their parents, and I said I didn't think I wanted to have any children. But now I have 4 fine children, and they grow up and be fine citizens in this world. And I think that's one of the things. Another one is that I have 48 wonderful grandchildren. So that's very meaningful to me. Very meaningful to me. And I think another thing is my church work. I've been an elder in probably 6 or 8 churches in my lifetime, and the only elder in most of them because they weren't big churches. And so the work I did in the church has been very meaningful to me. And another thing that's very meaningful to me was that a lot of the time we grow our own food. You know, this earth planted the seed and growed our own food. It was I had butter beans, I call them something else. Not butter beans, they're big beans. What are they anyway? Anyway, I can't think of the name of them, but...
Soybeans?
No, the soybeans are not big, they're little tiny things.
Oh, okay.
Butter beans and, what is another name for them, a very common name.
Chickpeas?
You can grow them on bushes or you can grow them on vines. I grew them on vines, and I had to take a stepladder to pick them.
Oh, okay.
And we'd freeze them in the wintertime, and we'd have butter beans all winter.
Oh.
I'd freeze them, put them in cartons. And so we grew our own stuff and did all those things.
Okay. And let's see. How did you become wealthy?
I never considered myself wealthy. Not in the respect of money. I've probably been wealthy in other things, but not in the respect of wealthy. How should people use their money to enjoy their life the most? I tell them over and over again, don't buy the things you don't need. Just sit around and rust or rot or whatever. Don't buy the things you don't need.
Right.
And one of the things I don't do is go out and spend a lot of money on eating outside just because I can't eat that much. I don't think anybody else probably should sometimes. Like my daughter has 2 plates full of food, which weighs almost 300 pounds, and she shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't put that in there, but she don't need that much.
Right.
And you're just spending, and some of the time her credit card had been so high that she couldn't pay it off. I had to pay it off for her. She paid me back, but she couldn't take care of it. And I think another thing is, how should people use their money to enjoy life? Well, by helping others, I think. I've done quite a lot of that, but not near as much as my wife has. I think that's one of the ways you can enjoy life with your money is to help others, and that's what I've been doing.
That's right. Okay. The next one says, what are some of your best memories of life or in life?
Well, I think some of it when my children were very young, playing with them, playing ball and other things, just noticing that they were very happy. And also I was very much interested with wait a minute, what question? What are some of the most important lessons?
We were on what are some of your best memories of life?
I got written down here, the Maranatha did. I think I have done probably as much or more Maranatha than anybody I know of. And I've done it for one of our academies. That's what I know.
Now, is that like when you go and build a church or build a school or something for somebody?
Yeah, I was the chairman of the building committee for building 2 churches. And so I was pretty much engaged in that. Cleared the ground for one church. I guess I should say I was the assistant for one of them, but I acted as the one who was in charge because he wasn't there most of the time.
Did you ever manage to take any Maranatha trips that went like to another country?
I'm not hearing what you say.
Sorry. Did you ever travel to any other countries on a Maranatha trip?
No. I know Maranatha. I traveled just for the fun of it to Haiti and Alaska.
Ah, I see. And
I see how they lived, and I just decided to come back to America.
I see. Which did you enjoy better? Did you enjoy Haiti or Alaska better? If you
Neither one of them.
Neither one of them. Was it too cold for you up in Alaska?
I was there in June, and see, you could still ice everywhere.
Huh.
I get tired of ice all the time.
I see.
And in Haiti, all I had for food was, they never heard of potatoes. In Haiti, all I had for food was bread and beans.
I see.
So at the end of the week, I was glad to get back to America.
I see. Okay. We'll move on to the next question now. It says, what are some of the most important lessons you have learned in your life?
Well, I'll probably have to say not to worry as much as I used to. I think that's probably one of the lessons I've learned in our marriage, is that there's no use in manufacturing things to worry about. They'll usually take care of themselves, as my wife always said, what doesn't take care of itself today will take care of itself tomorrow. She lived that way. And the people, I think the one lesson I learned is that some of the people that you think are not too much with it are better than you think they are. I learned that in several different ways. Some of the people I thought wouldn't amount to anything turned out to be real solid people, real solid citizens of this world and hopeful of the world to come.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's some of the things.
The next question says, why is God important in your life?
Well, one of the main reasons was He created me, and He is sustaining me. Without Him, I wouldn't be alive.
That's right. We wouldn't exist without God.
So I love and respect Him.
That's right.
It says we're to love our Lord.
With all our heart and soul and mind, I guess, right? Let's see. The next question says, how did God make your life richer and more meaningful on this earth? It's kind of a similar question, I think.
I think that probably one of the things I've learned that He created everything, and I have tilled the soil on many occasions and worked for this earth that He has created. And I began to realize what a wonderful job He did in making this earth so it keep people alive. I've enjoyed that a great deal.
I see.
And
the next...
I don't know, having a family, I think that has helped made life much more meaningful. In fact, when I got married, and I thought I married with the finest person in the world. I said, well, now I've got everything. Now I don't have to be concerned. I've fulfilled one of the interesting things in my life is to find a wife. She's mine now.
Yes.
And so I think that's been a very meaningful thing to me, to have a family. And especially when you have 48 grandchildren.
Yeah. Who knows, maybe you'll reach 50 pretty soon. Well, let's go on to the next one here. It says, what do you think the current generation needs to remember most for a good future?
I think the fact that we should remember how God has led us in the past. He's been with us in the past. He's led us in the past. I've had some narrow escapes. Almost got killed in the combine, but my guardian angels was there to protect me. And in every phase of my life, I can see where God has led. And I think one of the things that I should promote in the last days of my life is that all the nations should be peaceful. We should bring peace. Peace, peace I bring unto you. Peace I leave with you. And here we're trying to destroy peace. So I think I should promote peace, preach peace, wherever you can.
Yep.
Have peace between you. When you don't have peace, you have misery. You have sickness. You have all those things that is not good to live with here on this earth.
I see.
And I'm looking forward to that time when peace will be everywhere.
What is peace?
Right?
What is peace?
What is peace? Well, of course, getting along with your wife, getting along with your children, getting along with anybody around you is peace. I mean, you know, having a likable life, a peaceful life. That's what peace is to me. Getting along with your neighbor.
Yes.
My neighbor wouldn't let my father in the house for some time, for several years.
And that was not peace, right?
That's not peace.
Yes.
That's not saying very much about your father. I should say the other part, he was good in all its ways.
Right.
But that represents when you don't have peace.
It's true. Okay, the next question here says, let's see.
I think that was the last question.
Yeah, that was the last one. I'll stop for a moment here.